I love when you I love looking upon the disaster I've created and
Yeah.
being like, there's no way it's not gonna clog. And it still doesn't clog.
Yeah. And then you go, oh, duh! And
Exactly.
you pog face IRL.
Yeah, you soy jack, you point at it.
Can't believe I just pogged, like literally right now.
Hello, Power Punch Book Club, Evolution and Religion, Greg Graffin.
That's the intro.
That's the intro.
That's the intro.
That's the best
Listening.
I can come up with.
Oh, I couldn't have done it better myself.
Just want to note that I'm listening to Bad Religion as we record.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, get myself in the mood.
Use some kind of I can't come up with any funny joke for that.
What am I? Some bad religionist?
Jordy, have you never heard Bad Religion?
I know the one song, and it's because it was on Guitar Hero 2.
Oh it was either that or it's gonna be Tony Hawk. So I mean,
which one's on Tony Hawk?
I don't know. I didn't play the game. I just know that I mentioned them, and then someone goes, "Oh yeah, like from Tony Hawk Pro Skate or whatever," and I'm like,
I think Alejandro actually.
"Sure, man."
I'm pretty sure it was Alejandro actually.
Well, it happens more than once. It's pretty common.
No. Does it say a lot about you or a lot about them?
I don't know. Probably me. I don't know where to start with this one, so if you guys have any...
Hi guys, I will be taking you to your intro and evolutionary biography. The assigned reading for the course will be Evolution and Religion.
When can I drop the class and get a full refund?
That's what I'm saying.
It's three days ago, actually. I know it was a little controversial to avoid the first 3 months of class, but this ensures that is not an easy A, and you will have to try.
Yeah. I'm a bit of a difficult professor, you know?
But yeah, this is Evolution and Religion. It's quite literally what the title says. It is a book on evolution and religion.
And how they're related. Or not related.
Specifically, it goes over a research questionnaire sent to some of the world's top evolutionary biologists to relate, to see how many evolutionary biologists are still religious and kind of the connection between these two ideas that may or may not be actually that disparate. How was that? Was that college level? That sound good?
That was pretty good.
We're gonna have to ask Mr. Greg Graffin.
You know, Twitter at him before you put this up.
I will.
Oh no.
and then he can write a call-out post detailing every minute detail we got wrong, and then give us a failing grade.
Nah, he seems like a pretty cool guy.
He probably is, but in advance, Mr. Graffin, I'm very sorry.
I'm very sorry. I'm stupid.
No, that's.
I wish I had taken the intro class before signing up.
Yeah, that's my apology.
I wish I had taken the.
I should have Googled things.
Yeah, I Googled some stuff. I don't know. Evolution is a very interesting topic to me, as I'm sure you guys know already. I like dinosaurs, and I also like kind of that bigger picture of natural history. So I was like, yeah, surely I'll be able to understand what's going on here. And then I tried to read it, and I'm like, oh no. Oh no.
It's a little misleading, because you think it's going to be like a very more literal when it's a very almost not quite philosophical, but somewhat philosophical look at theist, deist, naturalist, and the relation to evolution and religion. Which, for me, was the more interesting thing, was reading the interviews with prominent members of the evolution, biology, religion, philosophy towards the end of the book, and kind of just getting their personal views, both professors talking about how they kind of teach the class and respect. One of the interviews I remember reading specifically that really got me interested was the one, I don't remember the name, pardon me, but it was like this professor had a couple of students were like, yeah, I'm gonna like be a straight A student, but I still don't believe I still believe in religion. And he was like, "All right, fair enough."
Which one was that?
It was one of the interviews to the back. Again, because I am awful at highlighting things, I don't remember the name.
Yeah.
But I thought that was an interesting dichotomy too. And then also the one of the big like takeaways that I took, but didn't write down, which is again another mistake prep or thing I probably should have prepped going into this, was the questionnaire slash like survey they sent out with this.
Mm-hmm.
And to counter where Ryan is like, evolution is cool and something I like because dinosaurs and shit. It's like I do not give a fuck about evolution. I think to me it is a evolutionary truth. Like evolution is the game it's the victory royale of creation myths.
It's the Fortnite of reality.
Yes, and I also don't really give much of a shit about religion either. So to me, this was more just like, huh, cool.
That's interesting. That's an interesting take.
It's a dumb take. Evolution's epic.
Yeah,
Not.
I
I don't
mean,
think
I'm not
I've ever
actually
met
calling you
anyone
dumb.
that didn't.
Yeah.
I've never met someone that didn't have a strong leaning one way or the other.
my opinions on religion are a little stronger, but evolution is like it's like if you told like it's like me telling you how fucking Fahrenheit works. Like it's hot today. Yeah, we descended from fucking water-based life forms. No shit.
Interesting.
Fair enough.
I feel like, I feel like talking about evolution is like doubly interesting for me because of where I grew up. I feel like I had to like defend evolution to people my age because
Oh,
most people in my area
this
firmly don't. I remember being in an advanced biology class in high school and we were learning about evolution. And the teacher stepped out for a few minutes, and there's only a few of us in that class. And I remember someone else turned to someone in the class and was like, I mean, I guess I can believe in evolution, but I just don't think we came from fish.
That's
it
not
just
how it works.
it just really it
That's not
sticks
how
in my
this
brain.
works.
That's we
I'm
came directly from fish. A
I'm
fish farted a human out one day.
I'm pretty sure in the church school I went to, I have a vivid memory of being shown some animation about how dinosaur bones were fake and planted by scientists to discredit God. And I remember seeing that as a small child, right? Elementary school. So I couldn't have been older than like 10 years old. And I remember thinking to myself, that doesn't really make sense. How could they get away with that when it's like something that we find globally? But I didn't think much of it at the time.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. You are a child, and even when you're questioning it, you're like, "Oh, these are adults. They wouldn't lie to me
Well, it
intentionally."
wasn't that. I didn't like I was like that doesn't seem quite right. So I'm not going to pay too much attention to this.
that's also funny because the area where me and Ryan lived during like middle school slash high school is close to a national park called Dinosaur National Valley.
Right.
There is an exhibit. This is a place that they found like one of the first, like one of up until a certain point was like one of the oldest dinosaurs bones ever found. But there is also a museum on creationism on how the devil put dinosaur bones there.
Yeah,
I've been there.
within like
It's
driving
the
I've
most.
been
distance.
there several times.
Oh
It
my
is the
god,
most like cognitive dissonant shit I have ever seen. It was
It's
that's
like, yeah,
insane.
you can go and walk and hike amongst the dinosaur bones. And it's also like dinosaurs were made by the devil in the same building. It's
and
That's
wild.
amazing.
I don't know. I almost feel like we're getting off topic, but I feel like we're not at the same time.
Oh, it's good. I think this builds context for
Yeah.
how we're relating to
True, true,
this.
true.
In a
Yeah.
book that is the relation between religion and evolution, I think it is relevant to see the
Well, and
people's opinions
I
on
was about to
said.
mention that this book almost feels more like a springboard for people to
Hmm.
discuss these two things
Hmm.
rather than like I don't know. Obviously there's a takeaway to be had, but I think we're supposed to take away from this information and then discuss it amongst ourselves.
Hmm.
Obviously there's the cold hard facts from the survey he did about what the majority of evolutionary biologists believe in, but it feels like we're supposed to take those facts and talk about it ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Kaden?
I also thought like there's like two of the questions that he put in the questionnaire that I thought were really interestingly phrased that we don't have to talk about it right now, but there's one. I have to find it. There's a question that specifically asks if you think that we evolved with free will or without.
I think I highlighted
That is something I was really looking forward to talking
And
about.
then the other one is what is your view of purpose and progress in evolution?
I highlighted that one as well.
Both of those questions I thought were so interesting because you could write papers just about how that question is phrased, both of them.
Well, and I guess we could talk about those questions. That second one you mentioned about purpose and progress is interesting. To flex some of my amateur evolution knowledge, it's something that like you see a lot of researchers like grapple with when they're actually talking about evolution, because the issue is you don't want to say, oh well, obviously this organism developed this to do this, when a lot of people nowadays, and I kind of agree with this, used to people thought of it like that in a very black and white sense, but nowadays a lot of people look at it just in kind of this, nature doesn't have an idea of what's happening, it's just happening.
Yeah. And I guess that's why that question stuck out to me, because like just like surface level, the word purpose implies like an end goal.
Right.
And so
the purpose is to procreate and continue.
Well, like, but that's still like an end goal. And so is progress. Progress implies that there is like a bar getting filled up every time you evolve. And I think the answers to that question are so interesting. Like the results from the questionnaire were so interesting because like if I'm thinking of those two terms in terms of evolution, I feel like the way I was taught I guess I was taught differently too. I was kind of taught, oh, things were evolved for this purpose.
Right, exactly. And
which the term for that is intelligent design, by the way, the belief in which God it's the reconciliation of both religion and evolution into one.
Well, but there's also like the idea that like these organisms developed X specifically so they could accomplish Y.
Oh, pardon me. I thought within the context of like religion,
yeah,
not necessarily. They evolved a thing to fix a problem within the.
Yeah, intelligent design is more like a creator developed this organism and set it on X path to accomplish Y goal,
and did it perfectly the first time,
which is similar.
Yeah, those. Yeah,
But
those ideas are kind of holding hands.
I'd be interesting. I think it'd be interesting to see the results of that question nowadays, because, like I said, a lot of perspective from what I've seen as an amateur has shifted more to the perspective of like animals are just kind of being animals, and when a certain trait becomes favorable over another, that's just animals doing their thing.
That just happened.
It just happens.
Yeah.
Put that on a bumper sticker. Evolution. It just happens.
Also, I feel like we should emphasize that this was printed in 2010, which, when this was printed, none of us were even in high school. Just for context.
I don't know that.
Yeah, I do know that.
I mean, it's true,
Brian. We weren't in high school. I can confirm that. Don't listen to him.
I don't remember how long ago that was.
We graduated in 2016.
Oh, it was 12 years ago. I can do basic math.
Yeah. 2010's a pretty easy number.
Yeah, it is.
It's nice
to do math from.
Anyways.
To get us back on topic, that also is a reason it kind of highlights my indifference towards evolution and religion, is in Do you really just consider weather like day to day? Do you just like weather? What makes it go? Or are you just like rains today? Gotta make sure I wear an umbrella or have an umbrella with me.
So, Kaden, do you think there's a purpose to recording
Yes.
evolutionary
Oh,
history?
absolutely. I agree. Like I think that is something that is incredibly valid. Just
You just
not to
think
me.
it's fact. You just don't need to know
Yes.
more about the
It's
fact.
in my day-to-day life, evolution and religion has zero bearing on anything I do. I think it is an
Mm.
incredibly important area of science that should be recorded just within literally solely within the confines of my own existence.
I don't need this information. It's
Yes.
important, but I don't need it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's just not something that's terribly important to me. I think it absolutely should be recorded and studied. Just like it's I don't know.
I
It's
think I understand what you're trying to
interesting.
say.
No,
But yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I just think it's an interesting take. A
I
yeah.
promise I
refreshing,
didn't come into
interesting
this
take.
wanting to be like contrarian or be like, I don't believe it. It's just that is the interesting part of this to me is people's opinions and unopinions on this topic.
I
Which
just
I think Jordy and I are asking you questions because normally people have like strong feelings on one side or the other, and you just don't really care
well,
altogether.
yeah, well that and I think also
You
I
seem kind of like a
sorry
redditor.
if
No, if I was a
speaking
redder, I'd be decrying religion the entire time.
speaking as all of us have been college educated in some form, I think it's an interesting take to say it's important to learn, but I don't need to learn it because I'm pretty sure we were all liberally educated
It's
with
true.
like several different um I don't know sciences. Like we weren't able to just take classes relevant to our degrees. I
Mm-hmm.
had to take
Hmm.
science and math. Well, I didn't actually take math, but science
See,
and math and
why
history
you were taking
classes.
math, I was taking meth. That's actually
Well,
the core of this.
I wish that was me. I wish that was me.
That is a joke for legal reasons.
My other car is a crack pipe.
That's classic. But yeah, it's
I think that's interesting because with how I like college not only hammered into me knowledge, but it hammered into me like this perfect way of doing college where we're learning a little bit of everything.
which also is like I think there's a merit to being a era unquote a renaissance man or woman. I think that is like if that is a path you would like to go on, I think that is very good in its own way. But at the same time, it's like you don't need to know everything,
Yeah, but I
which is
could.
Yes, I do.
could.
I
Which I think
kind of
we're also
like
getting
it.
away.
Well,
I think I brought this away from the initial
I
or the
actually
main topic again.
I have a way of taking this and circling back. How do you feel? So, how much of it do you think you need to learn, right? Because at some point, evolution and religion are gonna have to come into contact with each other, and I feel like if evolution is fact, it has to challenge religion to a degree. So, how much of evolution do you think a person should have to learn?
Hmm. I think. Let's see. I think it is important to understand the principles behind it. Like life is a straight line to the future. You start at point A and you just kind of just keep going with no definite end goal. So I think if you understand that, that is a good starting place. And then obviously it's important to know like the building blocks of life themselves itself. That kind of answers that.
Hmm.
I think so.
Well, it's not like I don't expect everyone to know the like individual genome of every step on the from cell to human. I
Hmm.
think it's more so to understand that less what evolution is and more just how it functions.
Hmm.
Or I guess another question then is like, how do I word this? Because, like I said, like, regardless of whether scientists feel like evolution and religion can coincide, it's pretty clear that there's discourse in the general public, and I guess
Hmm.
my question then is, I don't know how to word this.
I'm sorry, I really did not intend to derail this so hard.
This isn't a derailing. We're good. Are you meaning like
Away from the actual book topic.
No, like, so Ryan, are you meaning like how people view the two topics together in like
Yeah, in
generally?
yeah, because like we're still having to have these debates to this day. How do we? I don't know. I don't know what question I'm looking for.
I think that's less of an evolution question and more of a religion question.
Yeah.
Because religion, at least the way I was raised as like a Southern Baptist, is like you don't really question it because it's faith. It's faith. You just believe is the thing I always heard growing up.
Well, I guess that's then my question is, don't you think it's, or is it important to teach evolution, to teach people to question religion? I guess is my question. If that makes sense. Like,
I don't think it necessarily has to be evolution that is taught, because like
I think evolution is usually like the big one, if that makes sense.
there's a really good quote, I don't remember exactly where in the book, that I think it was discussing naturalist, but it was basically how like religion is just bad science. It is how science is the study of the world around us. Religion is just that, but for like some dude in the 300 AD or BC who's like doesn't have the tools and knowledge to put the two and two together.
Well, but we're still having to deal with the remnants of that. So
I mean,
I guess
if I had an answer to that, I'd be a very rich man.
Yeah, true. How much evolution is important to teach people to question religion, which is the structure that teaches you not to question anything.
Well, and
but go ahead.
Clearly, even like teaching evolution, even in high school, is like
still.
I mean, yeah, like it's still fought. Like a lot of schools just don't teach it. The amount of people that are like, yeah, my science teacher told us about evolution and then immediately was like, nope, this is all a lie. I have to teach it because it's curriculum. Like, I don't know.
I don't know if we're capable of answering this question either.
No, we're not.
That's something I wanted to add was
we're not.
This is for the follow-up video where Greg Graffin himself comes onto the show and calls us
individually stupid.
No, he calls us very smart little guys and he pats us all on the head. He calls us very smart for trying and we said thank you.
Thank you, Greg. I needed that.
But another interesting thing, just kind of the topic of how religion existed within I grew up in maybe not as a religious situation as Ryan did, but the school system we went to was very, very conservative. But my biology teacher, the one who introduced the concept of evolution, was just straight up like, yeah, this is evolution. If you don't believe in it, I guess we can talk. You're welcome to come talk to me about it, but I'm going to teach it how it is. And I was like, all right, fair enough.
Fuck it, we ball.
And from that moment, that was kind of the like, because I was very like, I wouldn't say very religious, but at least had the Christian spirit in me till probably mid high school, and I think that was definitely the seed that was like, maybe everything I was just told is, maybe I should learn. Maybe education is maybe I should educate myself. Get some, what is the fucking Twitter meme? Or it's like, just Google it. Not touch grass, but just like, back when everyone was like, just Google it. I'm not explaining things to you.
Yeah.
Oh. Google is free.
Google's free.
Yeah, so on. Google's free. Because I think it's, obviously, learning in school is a double-edged sword, because depending on the education system in which you grew up in, or the teacher, or any number of very specific things, your mileage is going to vary. You're going to learn different things and kind of be exposed to different ideas, which I guess is more so what I think is the important part of the discourse about what should you learn evolution is like, yes, I think it's also important that you should learn more than evolution. Like evolution is just a part of one very big scientific system. And that's not even to say that I think like religion isn't necessarily bad
Mm-hmm.
or like you shouldn't believe in religion.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I think it's more important to be a well-rounded to get a good well-rounded education about things.
As well said.
Thank you.
That's something I noticed about the book that was really interesting. And I've seen interviews with Professor Graffin as well. That he never states that religion is bad. He just states that it's bad science,
Mm.
which I think a lot of religious people have trouble reconciling.
Well, I think it's also interesting. So yeah, I noticed that he was very, maybe passive's the incorrect word, but it's a little more delicate about like maybe not being nice to religion, but at least like
Respectful.
respectful of it. But then probably the most prominent person that he quoted, especially in the discussion section, was Richard Dawkins,
Mm.
which is who is such a diehard dickhead atheist. I'm sorry to say it. He's very clearly very intelligent, and some of the stuff that Dawkins said in his stuff I respect. But also, he said something about if if religious people got educated, and that just rubbed me the wrong way. I can't
Yeah.
find the quote though. But he was basically implying that like religious people weren't educated, and I was like, that's not really the problem with religious people. Religious people still go to college. It's not like they know. I don't know. I don't have the words for that right now, but I just thought
Yeah.
that was interesting that one of the most prominent people featured in this book is Mr. Richard Dawkins. What is that meme with his "We are all something"? What is it? He's the guy with the shirt. That was dumb.
I got a shirt on. Is it
Yeah.
me?
Hold on. Hold on.
I googled meme and it's not giving me that, but it is a
Guy
lot
with
of
the shirt?
text memes. We are all Africans.
Yeah.
That's
That's him.
he's kind of not wrong though.
It's like,
He's not.
yeah,
He's a that's what I guess that's my question. So Richard Dawkins, I could still be wrong here, but he was kind of one of the faces of like the mid 2010s era like Facebook atheism where, people not only were atheists, but they were specifically dickheaded about religion
Oh, like Kaden.
and kind of going out of their way to like kind of berate religious ideas and such. And
Mm-hmm.
even Dawkins says that, like, he doesn't want to bend over backwards to appease religion. Um, I don't know. I think it's interesting that um I felt like I got slapped in the face when I saw Richard Dawkins' name in this book. And
just punched right in the face.
I don't know if it's the cute little social media echo chambers I'm in now, but I don't really feel like I see that brand of atheism very much anymore. I don't know about you guys. I would like to hear your thoughts.
I think thankfully that shit kind of gets bullied now. Like if
Yeah.
you're gonna be unnecessarily an asshole about it, you get bullied on the internet, which I think is good for people.
Yeah. I don't think they're necessarily wrong. I just think they should be a bit less of an asshole about it. Um,
Well, there's a difference between saying that like certain religions have kind of not great doctrines that prevent people from wanting to learn about the world versus saying religion is about blowing some dude in the sky or something.
yeah.
Like those are those are two
Yeah.
very different statements for very different purposes.
I think it's also fundamentally reductionist to say things like that. Whereas you can have a good faith discussion about the existence of of God or real or not real, or you can just be like, stupid fundies believe Skyman, therefore
Yeah.
bad. Give me updates to the left, please.
Here's some rare
Redditors.
gold.
We're talking about Redditors again.
Thanks for the gold, kind stranger. Maybe Mr. Graffin should come on our video and answer some of these questions for us. If he's not a little baby scaredy cat,
I think
because I
I
don't know what else to say. I think, yeah.
Oh, we
We,
we didn't talk about the free will question,
I'm about to
Oh
which
say we
yeah.
haven't even touched the real part of this here.
um I guess I'll start since I kind of brought it up, but I was so fascinated by that question because uh now keep in mind I have a freaking English major. I didn't take any classes specifically about um religion or evolution in college at all. Honestly, my previous education was just in high school and whatever I've researched since on my own. But in my mind, the term free will is a very religiously loaded term,
Yeah.
and I kind of assumed that when I saw the question. But then I saw the data collected on the question. I was like, ah, am I just completely wrong? Or is that like what is that the interesting nugget
It,
of this paper?
it may be more the idea that, like, not free will in like a religious sense, but in the sense that our our bodies react to stimuli, and we don't have free will because ultimately we are just going through the motions of trying to survive. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think that also begs in the question of like what it means to be alive at that point.
Well, and
Like, are we just? Go ahead.
and I was just gonna say, like, ultimately, I think we do have free will because what would be the point of us sitting here asking these questions if that was the case?
It's one of those. It's like it's easy. Like if you say one thing or the other, it's easy to fall into like different traps of the
Absolutely.
conversation.
Hmm. Trying to
Where it's like,
find all the questions for you. Sorry, go ahead.
hmm. For me, I guess it also depends on the individual definition of free will. Free will is such a fucking hard to define thing because literally every context of every conversation is going to be at least a little different.
Mm-hmm. Especially depending on who you speak to.
Hmm. For me, free will is like quite literally just at this moment in time, I can do any number of things. I can make a choice and go with it, which I guess is a very literal
Yeah.
Hmm.
definition. But to me, I do think we possess a free will because it's like, how do I say this? I guess because at any, we have a degree of autonomy, I guess, within
Mm-hmm.
like brain chemistry. We process information and we make decisions every moment of the day, every breathing moment, every time you breathe, every time you like blink. That is a process performing an action inside of your brain.
Well, and
And
oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
You go ahead and then I'll add.
And at any point in time, you can just decide not to. You can tell your brain, no, I do not want to breathe for the next 30 seconds to a minute.
And like I was saying, along with the fact that if we were just entities reacting to stimuli, we wouldn't ask those questions. We also wouldn't challenge our reaction to stimuli. You know what I mean? Like something happens and you have a reaction to it, and then sometimes you take a step back and you go, "Wait a minute, is this reaction appropriate? Should this
Yeah.
be how I'm acting in this moment?" Um, and I feel like if we didn't have a sense of free will, then we wouldn't be doing those kinds of things.
And
Hmm.
it's kind of like a spin on the whole I think, therefore I am. It's like I
Mm-hmm.
think, therefore I can think.
Right. That's so interesting. Because I was gonna say the complete opposite.
What the
I
hell?
Yeah, like gut response to that question, I don't necessarily think we have free will because my notion of free will is something almost divinely placed upon us that makes us humans different from the rest of the animal kingdom. And I know that's probably not necessarily the correct definition of what free will is, but like you said, we have observed animals, like reacting to stimuli and changing the reaction. You know what I mean? I don't think that's not Hmm. I don't know if that's like what I would define as giving us free will either.
Mm.
That's also very much, I think, back in the free will is such a hard to pin down
Yeah,
thing in the first place.
I think maybe oh, he kind of acknowledges in here that probably the question needed to be phrased differently. Um, but I think the first step would be like nailing down exactly what you would mean by free will.
Mm-hmm.
Because I kind of wonder how many respondents just kind of I want to know how many people responded to this with like the religious idea of free will in mind versus like a non-religious ideal of free
Mm-hmm.
will in mind because I think those are two very different answers that look the same.
Like thinking about it in the religious sense too is also like another entire like video topic of
Yeah, that's another whole can of
what
worms.
it can humans possess free will if an omnipotent, omnipresent God is also in the picture? If everything is planned out ahead of time and is divine will, how can we say we have free will if every action is predetermined? And then the cycle goes on and on and on and on and on and on.
Well, and even if it's not planned, if someone knows everything that's going to happen, does that mean we're free to do as we please, or are we just going through the motions? Ultimately, I think I'm right and you're wrong. Sorry.
Hmm.
I just have to take a minute and just be like, gotta get my bearings straight.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I got downvoted on Reddit. I really need to think about this. Hold on.
this is too much.
This was definitely like going into this book. I was like, or going into this video about the book. I was like, this is gonna be. What the fuck do I say? There's just so
Yeah.
much to consider.
Yeah. Well, and we could probably talk about this for like 5 hours and
Mm-hmm.
still not really have
Have a
anything.
The
consensus.
first multi-part book report is just every day this month we're just gonna keep digging ourselves deeper into the hole of what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, we're just gonna
Yeah.
get rid of all the other books on this list, and we're just gonna stick with this one.
Please don't say that because I already bought the next one and it's chunky.
What is the next book? I forgot to
Oh,
Dark
look.
isn't
Alliance by Gary
Ooh, nice.
Webb, which I'm very excited for.
yeah.
But it is long, just so you know. It is 500 pages.
Let's go.
It's about the CAA and crack cocaine in the Contras.
Yeah. Which it's gonna make me depressed. I
Oh yeah.
shouldn't be excited to read it, but
Well, that's why I'm excited.
think this is a topic I don't I really like just kind of know, hey, the CIA gave poor people crack. That's kind of all I know
Yeah.
about it. That's not even really a good summary of the situation. So,
It is a 20-hour and 28-minute audiobook, in case you're wondering.
yeah.
Jesus.
So, yeah, just so you know, um, the next recording might be late too.
Yeah. Which I apologize for. It's been a wild ride the last
Yes.
3 or 4 months. I think
Things
we're
have
more
been
involved.
Years, decades,
Existence.
existence.
yeah, to kind of get back on the topic of this book, it's like it was interesting and intriguing, but I do not think I possess the intelligence to comprehend and have like a very coherent thought
It,
without like having to sit down and actually take this class.
yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say it's almost like we should have just done a video of us taking a class on this book. Like, I almost feel like we should try and write down a bunch of questions and see if we can, like, unironically get him to come on and answer the questions for us.
Or at the very least, maybe some Twitter reply answers would be appreciated.
Yeah.
I don't know though, because this is one of those things like I read it and I'm interested in the topic and it's one of those things that I'm gonna hold on to and in the future I'm gonna take it back off of my bookshelf and just kind of research all of the stuff I didn't understand in it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Kind of go off that.
I
It's
also.
also kind of the go ahead.
No, go ahead, and then I'll.
Kind of the downside of this being only a month to consume the media is like I feel like I needed more time.
Yeah. Well, like we're all
You know,
saying, it feels like we needed to take a class on this rather than
I also think it's worth noting we pushed this video back a week to kind of have more time to get through all of it and kind of get a better idea of what's going on. Because I finished the book, like I think I finished it the 31st. Like I was like, okay, I'm ready. Let's go, guys.
Yeah,
As I'm the Randy Marsh, I didn't hear no bell.
I also feel like, Kaden, we should... I think we talked about this before, but I feel like we needed to go and do a vlog at the Creationist Museum.
That would be... I am very, very down for that.
I want to go with you.
Well, do
You
it.
have to wait for me.
Okay. I don't know, I guess, is there anything else? I suppose that was kind of closing thoughts, I suppose.
I suppose.
Yeah.
I suppose so. I suppose that I kind of hit the main things I wanted to hit, I suppose. Yeah. I suppose, is there anything else we want to talk about, I suppose?
Not really. I thought the accidental
You don't
discourse I caused,
suppose.
I think, was pretty interesting. So I'm pretty happy with that. I honestly shelved what I was going to say, and I think the discourse from my comments
Well,
was also pretty interesting.
Actually, I have one more question for you, Kaden.
Go for it.
Can I pay you to
Pay me.
go get your brain scanned and then let me keep the result?
That's a very loaded statement.
I mean,
I have a question for Kaden also, but after you're done.
You don't have to answer right now. You can think about it.
I am. What does that mean? What does that imply?
Kaden, why are you a young Earth creationist?
Because I got bullied out of the Flat Earther Facebook page.
I feel like those go hand in hand, to be honest.
I said that as a joke, but honestly.
Does anyone have anything they want to shout out?
Not this time.
Oh,
Jordy?
I mean, I got a Twitter account, I guess. It's that Bookkeeper Theo, you know, it's kind of cool sometimes.
My Twitter is at RyRyinRed. I'm gonna put a Bad Religion song at the end of this for our outro, and hopefully Epitaph Records doesn't copyright strike us.
Oh, they will.
That would, yeah, they will. But I feel like that's. Are you really a punk if you copyright strike us for using that? And if you think you are Greg Graffin, you gotta come on our show and debate us.
Oh my god. We'll lose.
Yeah,
we lose the debate.
We lose every time.
I will take that. I would happily take that out. I want him literally to sit here and be like, "You read this book? I doubt it."
Yeah, I would love that. It would be like the ending of Invincible episode 1.
Oh.
Okay, bye-bye.
Oh.
Good night.